Story in all the morning papers, a couple of them here, Two to Sport. It's time for the hat trick, they say. Corriere saying Milan, history is calling you. So the fans behind me. Of course, 45 years since anyone's managed to come up with the hat trick of titles. Milan can do it today, and the people here are ready to celebrate. Plenty of celebrities here for today's game. There's Silvio Berlusconi, probably the new leader of Italy, about 30 foot to my right, politically speaking true as well, actually. There's Marco van Basten as well. There's also Brian Adams, who's flown in for today's game, and also Liam Brady, perched beside me on this rather comfy desk. Liam, do you think Milan are going to seal it today?
Well, I think there's every chance. They're playing in front of their own crowd, packed stadium, great atmosphere. We've got Udinese who are struggling at the bottom of the Serie A, and you would have to say that Milan will do it today, yes.
Tremendous atmosphere here. There's a giant Italian banner being unveiled behind us. What is it like to win a Scudetto? I mean, I know you've done it at Turin, but what does it mean to win a Scudetto in one of these Italian cities?
Well, it's a tremendous feeling. There's always a great atmosphere in the city. Milan's fans must be getting used to it by now. As you mentioned, this is the third time on the trot. And it's a really great atmosphere, and there'll be a party tonight if Milan manage to do it today.
Well, as Ken in fact mentioned earlier, a point is enough for them today. We saw a bit of a horrendous game last year when they only needed a point to sew things up. Brescia settled for a draw with them, went down to Serie B. Do you think Udinese are going to make the same mistake?
Well, I watched your programme yesterday, James, when I was in England, and certainly the vibes coming from Udinese are they would be happy with a point. But let's hope we don't see a repeat of the farcical spectacle that we saw last year. What Capello's saying today in the newspapers is that he wants to go out with a bang. He wants to do it in style, and let's hope they do that.
Well, you've seen the lineup. What do you think? Is it going to be a goals fest?
Well, I don't know about that. It's very interesting to see Papan in it. They say he's about to leave the club, but I'm sure he'll want to go out and he want to be remembered in the right way by the Milan fans. And of course, Baresi, it could be his day today. The first time any Milan player has won 5 titles. Great achievement for a great player.
Okay. Well, all sorts of confusion going on behind us. I can only imagine the teams are coming out now, so time to pass over to our commentators, Peter Brackley and Ray Wilkins.
Thank you, James. Good afternoon, everyone. And so the scene is set then for another landmark to be reached in this outstanding Milan success story of recent times. Reservations there may be over the way that they've defended their title, but no one can doubt the remarkable consistency and resilience that they've shown, not only domestically but in Europe too. All credit to their coach Fabio Capello, who's adapted his tactics so adroitly to compensate for the loss of his influential Dutch trio, Hullit, Rijkaard and Van Basten. A point against Udinese then will clinch Milan's 3rd successive Scudetto, their 4th in 7 years. And this is the side that Capello hopes will complete the task today. Rossi in goal, Baresi, Costa Curta and Maldini in defence, Desai, Albertini and Boban in midfield. They've been the backbone of the side for most of the campaign. And there are also places today for Lentini and Jean-Pierre Papin, who's leaving for Bayern Munich next season. He has a chance to shine up front with Savicevic out injured. So what price then, Udinese, to defy Milan this afternoon? Well, they're fighting for their Serie A lives and have just 3 matches left to secure their current status. Losing their captain and top scorer, Marco Branca, through injury is a savage blow for them. But they have a striker desperate to impress in Borgonovo, formerly of Milan, of course. And the contributions too of Desideri and Pizzi, both on Inter's books in recent times, they could be critical as well, along with that of the Dane Thomas Helveg. A near full house in the San Siro, around 75,000-80,000 waiting to celebrate another Milan triumph. The odds certainly favour them settling it today. They've not lost a league game at home for a year, and Udinese have won just 3 times on their travels. The last success at Roma was back in January. Udinese in the striped shirts, about to kick off. Fausto Pizzi in the picture there, number 10. Who Ray Wilkins remembers from his days out in Italy. A very talented player. Another one too alongside him in Borgonovo. But Ray, can they upset Milan this afternoon?
Well, good afternoon, Peter. Good afternoon, everybody. I think to actually upset Milan would be a marvellous feat for Udinese, but I can't actually see it. I think Milan will go on this afternoon and win that 3rd championship on the trot. And I think they thoroughly deserve to do so as well. We haven't really seen the flair that they've used in the 2 previous seasons, but they have been very, very clinical. Defensively fantastic. and they've scored the odd goal on occasions.
Milan straight on the assault here. Maldini. Simone, who's playing up front then today. Massaro has been left out. We gather he's got an injury, but Capello has been resting him anyway, saving him for the big matches. Of course, they have those to come in Europe. Costa Curta to Baresi. Simone, brushed aside though by Rossito, the Italian under-21 international. Simone, who's been vying for a place up front for much of the season. He hasn't started too many games lately and has had injury problems. Albertini sprayed wide to Tassotti. Maybe his last season with Milan. 34 years old now, Tassotti, and he hopes about to enjoy yet another championship success. Here's Baresi, who played his 600th game for Milan last week and is heading for his 5th title 15 years after the first one. Kosminski, the pole, tangling with Lentini, will have the roll down the right side for Milan this afternoon.
Yeah, we spoke about Lentini many times last season, Peter, playing on the left-hand side, but the right-hand side would obviously favour him. He's a naturally right-sided player, got a great right foot, and he didn't seem to relish the fact of playing on the left wing. He used to have to slow down when entering the last third of the field to cross the ball on a bit of a shaky left foot, it must be said. But I would imagine on his right side he'd be a pretty potent character.
Not too happy at being left out of the side recently, Lentini. Of course, he had his accident, a serious accident back in August, but he says himself he's been fit for the past 8 months now and believes he should have been playing regularly in order to force his way back into the World Cup squad. Well, the cross was just too long for Papan. This is Boban. Good skill by him. Cut out though by Desideri, the sweeper, and that squirmed off him for a Milan corner.
Yeah, go back to Lentini, Peter. It's a shame that players actually come out with statements like that, because he did have his accident. He was out for a long time. The team were doing exceptionally well, and no player has a divine right to play. And Lentini should work hard to get himself back in there, as I'm sure he has done.
Maldini on the near post, but out of harm's way to the relief of Graziano Battistini, the goalkeeper of Udinese, who's been their first choice for most of the season. He's played the last 20 matches now, having missed a few around Christmas time when he was left out. Been a really hard season though for Udinese after their bad start to the campaign, and they've given themselves a lot to do now to stay in the highest company. Lentini. Free kick given though by referee Luciani Lucci comes from Florence. Maldini. Another free kick to Milan. Nervous start this by Udinese.
I think it's always very difficult for sides like Udinese to go to a place like Milan when they only need a point to win the championship. It's as if they're only the bit players in what is going to be a massive great party for AC Milan, and it's a difficult occasion for them.
Here's Desai, the Frenchman, rolled wide to Tassotti. Papin looking in the middle at Simone. Tassotti again onto Simone, and it falls for Rossito. This is Helveg the Dane. Who does a good job on the right flank for Udinese. Caught then by Boban's tackle.
Yeah, pretty reckless challenge from Boban as well. Milan do appear to have started off in fine fettle, very, very quick at the moment, albeit a little bit frantically.
Desideri taking the free kick then for Udinese. We're certainly going to miss Brackley up front. Hoping today that Borgonovo will impress in his place. Borgonovo, who had a season with Milan and had forced his way into the Italian national team before that with Fiorentina. Very talented player who's never quite fulfilled his potential.
No, he was a player that was very highly thought of, Peter, as a striker, and I think a lot of well-respected football judges in Italy thought that he would one day become a top international player, but really hasn't fulfilled that potential.
Pizzi with the header. Here's Baresi. That was handled then surely.
who I read this morning is losing his edge, Franco Baresi. Yes. I read in one of the newspapers this morning, he's losing his edge. Well, I'll be blowed if I've ever seen a player lose his edge play like this. He's absolutely brilliant.
And if he's struggling, what's he like when he's playing well? Tassotti. Not by Lentini. Just too long though for Simone. Up comes Desideri. Pizzi losing out to Desai, who's so strong in the heart of the midfield for Milan. Maldini. Albertini now, away from Pizzi's tackle. Here's Tassotti. Lentini. Yassi. On to Borgonovo. Who was fouled then by Maldini. Udinese right down in the relegation zone, third to bottom, 26 points, the same tally as Reggiana, one place above them. Piacenza are 2 points better off above that. And it's pretty tight down there. But after this game, Udinese have also Cremonese to play at home, another fellow struggler. And then a little bit of a tough one the last game, away to Juventus.
Yeah, it's always going to be tough for them, Peter, but their destiny is still in their own hands, which is the best way to be. They still have a chance to do something themselves. They're not having to rely on other people. They are to a certain degree, but I'm sure they'll be happy with the situation that faces them if you've got a fight to stay in the Premiership.
Well, they will certainly need something from this game. Tassotti. Baresi. Milan have only conceded 6 goals at home this season, and only 12 all season. Remarkable record. Juventus playing Lazio today, incidentally, and they've already taken the lead. A goal from Gianluca Vialli. I think that's his first since his return to the side after injury. So Juventus a goal up at home to Lazio. Two teams competing for second place behind Milan.
Nice to hear as well Vialli scored, Peter. He's been out a long time, and it's nice to have such a good player back in the fold.
Simone just across it in, and it was overhit then in search of Boban at the far post.
Excellent work from Simone. That's what he's good at. Good at being in the box. Nice twist and turn. And unfortunately, he just overhit his cross. But he's excellent at doing that, Simone.
And he'll be very keen to impress today, Simone, with the big European matches coming up. He's only started 3 of the last 10 now. And he was suspended in midweek for the European tie against Porto. Pizzi's got a great left foot. It's a lovely turn that away from Desai. Still Pizzi now. Quickly they closed him down, and the shot then driven well wide from Desideri.
Yeah, it was an excellent run from Pizzi, wasn't it? He turned on the side and left him standing, and it was good defending from the Milan players, and Desideri just blasted it past the upright. That's a good tackle from Tassotti, but overruns it, and Desideri just blasts it past the post.
This is Tassotti. Now Papan, who's hardly featured so far in this game. Albertini. And we seem to say that about Papan so often, but then he pops up with a goal. Although he hasn't played all that many games this season, he's still the second highest scorer with 5, behind Massaro. This is Desai. Now, what can Maldini do here? Outmaneuvered by Helveg and Rosito.
He was rather left on his own there, Paolo Maldini, and he had the presence of mind and the confidence just to hold on to the ball, and at the last minute tried a little drag back through the legs and was brought down for the free kick.
Maybe he collected an injury there too. There's Boban with the cross, away by Yassi. This will be Tassotti's ball. Pressure for his place now from Panucci, but Panucci featured in the under-21 international on Friday. Played the whole game and extra time as well. So I don't think there was too much chance of him starting this one. Now Papan on the chase, and good judgment by Battistini. Just about held on.
Yeah, he did very well, didn't he, Battistini, there, not to carry it out the box. Excellent goalkeeping.
The skill by Borgonovo. Statuto had arrived in support, and Pizzi as well. This is Kosminski, the Pole. Maldini. Now, will Simone keep it in? He has. Finds Lentini. The referee had allowed the advantage. There looked to be a foul earlier in the move. Kosminski getting the better of Lentini. And away come Udinese. Not for long, though. Now the flag's up.
Nevertheless, it was good defending from Kosminski. He does appear to have the legs of Lentini. He's attempted to go past him a couple of times on the outside. That one would have been a foul had he not been offside. But Kosminski appears to be quite quick, and Lentini will have his work cut out to go past him.
Just hearing now that Juventus have taken a 2-0 lead against Paul Gascoigne side Lazio. An own goal from Brackley, the Lazio defender. And news of one of the other struggling teams, or two of them really, Lecce against Reggiana. Reggiana in 15th place, Lecce of course already relegated. And the score there is 1-0 to Lecce. Kenny Mikola with a goal. Boban just slipped in the vital moment. Here's Baresi. Desai. What a success he has been for Milan since his move from Marseille back in November. They gave him a rest last week, left him out for the first time, but he's back in the team today. Simone just thought about the shot then for a second and maybe wasted an opportunity. Helveg back defending.
Yeah, he did waste an opportunity. He could have actually played in a couple of players there, Peter, and as the ball come across, Helveg dealt with it very nicely indeed on the back post, showed a lot of composure and just hooked the ball away from Milan throw-in. But I couldn't agree more with you. I think Desai has been a revelation since he's come in. I thought the player that they would miss most would be Rijkaard, and Desai has come in and he does a very similar job. Just very typical, wouldn't it? You talk nicely about someone, he goes and gives the ball away. We've done a very, very similar job to what Rijkaard used to do.
Here's Statuto, a terrier-like figure in midfield for Udinese. There's a promising run here that was curtailed, though. Well, they're showing plenty of commitment, plenty of urgency, Udinese. Lentini lost his footing. And it's presented the ball back then to Udinese with Chelsea. Well, a quite astonishing match in Turin. It's now 3-0 to Juventus. Jurgen Kohler with the third goal. So Lazio with an almighty problem there. 3-0 down. Juventus in second place, Lazio fourth. Just a couple of points between them at the start of their match today.
I think the pattern of this game's already been well established. Peter, Udinese leaving Borgonogo up front on his own, just a forage along on his own, an attempt that they can get away with a point.
Here's Albertini now, good strike! Set up by Papin's pass, and Albertini, who hasn't scored since November, was not too far away then.
I think they complement each other very nicely, Albertini and Desai. Desai using the immense power that he has, and Albertini is a very, very nice footballer, and he's really come on top of his form in the last couple of months.
Well, he's been a key man in what looks like being now 3 successive championships, Albertini. Still in his early 20s. Here's Baresi now, who's in his early 30s. Which they used to say about you, Ray.
Yeah, it would be nice to be in your early 30s, wouldn't it? Yeah.
I shouldn't give you a stick. Your players will be at you again tomorrow.
Not at all.
Tassotti now. In for Simone, again showing well for him. He's so full of running up front, Simone. A good turn away then from the tackle of Pellegrini. Now will it fall for Albertini? Well, they forced him wide. Chelsea, who got in the saving tackle at the end then. Maldini now. Baresi threaded on. And safely through to Battistini.
My goodness, that was quite wonderful football from Simone there, receiving the ball with his back to goal, twisting and turning, and the cross was perfection. The goalkeeper he sold himself, the goalkeeper. I think had Papin just been slightly more alert, he might have got ahead to that. Boban trying to knock it back for Albertini, but unfortunately was a bit short with the pass.
Now an offside decision at the other end, I think against Statuto. Rossi not had too much to do so far.
But he's been an impressive customer, hasn't he, Peter? Like when teams are having the majority of the game, his concentration has to be 100%, and he really has pulled off some very vital saves in some very vital matches for Milan.
He certainly did in the week too in the European tie against Bobby Robson's Porto. Some fine saves by Rossi. Simone trying to whip over the cross. It was Pellegrini who'd come across to cover. Tassotti. Now Desai. Maldini has to chase it. Given straight to Pizzi. Good anticipation by Costa Curta. Then Borresi to hook it forward again. Pellegrini is the last man, and he's rather panicked there under pressure. I think he wanted the keeper to come for it.
Yeah, I think you're quite right, Peter, and I thought the keeper should have come for it. There's Papin trying to whip the supporters in a bit of action. I think Liam was dead right in what he said. He'd love to end on a good note, obviously signing for Bayern Munich. He'd love to leave Milan with the third title and a very impressive match.
Tassotti didn't get the run on the ball there, though. Well, let's hear from Liam Brady now, watching the game with us today. Liam, your early thoughts on what you've seen so far?
Well, it's the way we thought it would happen, Peter. You know, Udinese are sitting well back, only playing one up front, Borgonova, Pizzi a little bit in behind him, and it's up to Milan really to break them down. They've been doing well to get into the last third, Milan, but the final ball has let them down. It's a pity really, because Simone and Papin look as if they're on top of the game today.
Thanks, Liam. Hear from you later on. Free kick taken by Calori, the captain of Udinese, with Branca out. Rossi, who's kept 30 clean sheets in 43 games this season. Astonishing record.
It's pretty impressive, Peter, isn't it? You was telling me actually about Capello's record as well. If you could enlighten us on what you were saying before.
104 games he's taken charge of in Serie A for Milan. 104 games, and he's lost only 5. 161, drawn 38, just 5 defeats.
Absolutely magnificent.
Mistake then by Albertini. Now can Rossito cash in on it. Calori on then for Statuto. Look at the strength again then of Desai. Statuto finding him tooth and nail. Very aggressive player, Statuto. His first season with Udinese. Began his career with Roma, and was discarded by them 4 years ago without making a league appearance. And he's just returned after a 2-match suspension. At least he was back last week anyway. Here's Pizzi. A support from Kosminski. Just trying to nick one there into the path of those incoming forwards. They got plenty forward in that attack then, Udinese. Now Boban. It's good skill by the Croatian. Finds Lentini. Boban has continued his run through the middle, where Papin is waiting as well, and Simone. This is Boban. Laid off to Tassotti. Lentini. Papin unable to shake off the marking of Calori. Borgonovo came back in November from Pescara. His career never really took off in the way that he was hoping after his early flourish with Fiorentina. Out by Pellegrini. Pizzi, Desai firmly into the tackle. Chelsea tackling, and it's a free kick to Udinese.
Gone down well at Twickenham, that one, wouldn't it, from Albertini? Rather badly timed.
Wrestled to the ground. Chelsea was working hard in the midfield area for Udinese. Pizzi to Kosminski. A rare error then by Costa Curta. Don't see that too often. Fortunately for him, there was no one pressing from Udinese. And this is Baresi now. The captain and mastermind of the Milan side. Albertini. Boban. Away from Rossito's tackle. And then he was sent crashing to the ground.
He's looked terrific in this opening spell, Boban. Very, very alert. And he's the one that you would think is going to create something at the moment. He's a gangly sort of chap, and he anticipates tackles very nicely, and he won himself a very good free kick in the corner there.
And referee Lucci none too happy with the challenge of Helveg.
Yeah, he's just tempting Helveg in there and just nips it past him, and he knows he's going to get the foul. Well, the least he's going to get is the foul. Good play from Boban.
And he himself will take this free kick then for Milan. As they search for the opening goal, Maldini has come up from the back, as he always does on these set pieces. Well, fisted away then by Pellegrini. I would have thought he could have held that. Taking no chances. Kosminski now on the break for Udinese. In by Rossito. Too easy though for Baresi. Just showing that Sampdoria have taken the lead. I hope to enter, and it's a goal from their veteran defender Vyakovan. Sampdoria 1, Inter 0. Sampdoria in third place, a point behind Juventus.
Great forward play again from Simone, facing up to the first ball. Nice knock-off, and he span into the corner, and it was a very nice pass from Maldini that put him through. But good football.
Boban. Maldini's pace took it through then. Desperate defending by Udinese. Baresi's header down for Desai. Maldini on for Boban. There's danger here. Still Boban. Whipping over the cross. Only out as far as Albertini. Now to Sotti joining in. Costa Curta. To Sotti. On by Baresi to Papan. They've got themselves in a tackle now, Milan. It's Borgonovo. What support does he have? Maybe he doesn't need it. The tackle was a clean one from Baresi.
It's a thankless task for Borgonovo. He's taken it on himself to have a real go, and full credit to him. It's not easy when you play out there on your own. Not that I've experienced it, but it must be very, very difficult.
You've never been up that far, have you?
I haven't. I'll get a nosebleed if I get up that far, Pete.
Good to see you back in the side, though. How are you playing? Are you playing all right?
It was okay, yes. It's nice to be back. We had a nice victory.
And written you off.
If I could say congratulations to Dave Bardsley, if you're watching, Dave, well done for winning our Player of the Year award. Very well done, mate. Thoroughly deserved.
Did you feature in the first 10 or so?
No. 13th.
Well done. Well, that's the best so far. Another goal has been scored early on by Rizzatelli of Roma. Roma now in mid-table, and they're at home to Piacenza, one of the teams in trouble near the foot of the table. Goal from Rizzatelli, Roma 1, Piacenza 0. Desai showed too much of that to Chelsea, but he had the strength to carry on. Now Papan turning sharply. Didn't quite have the finish, but we saw there the predatory instincts of Jean-Pierre Papin.
Yes, he just missed out on a bit of a sloppy first touch. Here's the ball comes to him, he just takes it slightly too far away from himself, and out in the finish he actually slips, which poor chap, but he did very well to make the opening for himself.
5 goals from Papin this season, as I was saying earlier. They've come in 16 appearances, so it's a reasonable return, but he has started only 3 of the last 11, with Savicevic the man in favour. Simone taking on Pellegrini, getting away from him too, and he just failed to stab it back then into the path of Papin or Lentini.
I've got to say he's one of my favourite forward players in Italy, Simone. I know he doesn't play all the time for Milan, but he creates a lot of space for people. He's always prepared to have a go at people. He's got a lovely touch. He was just a little bit unfortunate here. He ends up stretching and just pops it back to Battistini in goal.
Tassotti. Simone now working so hard, but failing to link up with Papan, and away comes Calori. Tassotti to Baresi, who's strolling through this game so far. Lentini. Papan has pulled out wide. Statuto. This is Kosminski. Inter have now equalised against Sampdoria. Battistini with the goal. So it's Sampdoria 1, Inter 1. Samp having taken the lead earlier on through Viakovon. Boban to Albertini. Now to Sati. Yeltsin with the intervention. Costa Curta, who has shown such improvement this season alongside Baresi. 16 international caps now, Costa Curta, and seems to be very much first choice for club and country.
Yes, I think if you assess Milan's success this year, it isn't the goals they've scored, it's the clean sheets they've kept. And I think the only real change that you've ever seen in the Milan back four is Panucci perhaps coming in for Tassotti every now and then. And when you do have a stable section such as Milan do, then it's going to be very tough to break them down. And Rossi's been quite exceptional in goal as well.
Lentini. Capello's been saying this week he's not concerned about the fact that Milan don't score too often. He says the opposition's goalkeeper is usually the best player on the pitch when we play them.
Yes, that's quite right. If you know, even the game today that we're seeing today, it's just a game like you used to play at home, really. Centre and head in and hope that you can get the goal. Udinese have got no ambition whatsoever to leave their defensive ranks, and it will be nice in actual fact, not from a biased point of view, but to see Milan score, because Udinese do definitely need to get something from this game. So as long as it stays at 0-0, this is the sort of game we're going to see.
Simone did well to get his cross in then. It was Desideri who cleared. Now Kosminski. Simone, who's been a real threat to Udinese so far with his forceful running and his eye for an opening. Boban now. Another player who has such awareness. Off then to Albertini. Facing a packed defence. Chipped in, free header for Pellegrini. Kosminski is happy to clear it upfield. It's a pretty thankless task up front for Borgonovo today.
Yes, it's a waste of time for Borgonovo, really. He's going to chase balls like that all afternoon as long as it stays at no goals. But Milan have got to do what Simone's trying to do, get down the flanks and get balls whipped across.
Papan now. Beaten though by Kosminski.
He was in a good area, Papan, there, just to hit that across on the volley. They've got to get wide, and they've got to start threatening with crosses going into the box. Not like that, because it's from too big an angle.
Simone down for Boban!
Isn't it amazing? I said that, and Boban hits the post, I think. But it was a pretty poor defensive header. But Boban really did strike it nicely.
Oh, cracking drive then by Boban.
Nicely set up there.
Well, he's got 3 in Serie A this season, almost 4. And he has been a major success for them. Didn't really feature all that often last season, but he's been a regular in this campaign when he's been fit. It's been a lonely afternoon for Rossi so far at the other end.
Yeah, you'd have thought Maldini would let him have a little kick there, wouldn't he? He's stagnating in that goal, poor fella.
Albertini. Shot was charged down. It was a pretty tame one anyway. I don't think that would have hindered Battistini in any way.
They're doing very well, Udinese. They're frustrating the life out of Milan, but as long as Milan keep going through that middle section of the field, they're not going to get too much joy. They've got to attempt to go wide on them and whip balls in behind them, where they can have the likes of Papan and Simone flying in it.
Desideri and broken from his defensive role. Without success, Desai now. On to Simone. Pellegrini was hacking at his heels. Stefano Pellegrini. one of the Pellegrini brothers playing in Italian football.
Yeah, you see there, Simone is a good first touch. He's got all the awareness in the world where Pellegrini is, and just toes it away from him as he comes in to make the challenge.
Baresi, who was injured in midweek against Porto, but he's recovered from that particular problem. More news from other matches. Parma have taken the lead against, who are they playing today? Cagliari. And it's Asprilla, the Colombian, who has scored. Parma 1, Cagliari 0. Parma, who've stepped out of the frame at the top of the table, really down into 5th place. 2 points adrift of Lazio. And it's now Roma 2, Piacenza 0. An own goal from Cananante. Simone has had a lot of injury problems this season, including damaging his shoulder when he fell out of the bath. Has that ever happened to you, Ray?
No, I can't say it has, Peter. No, it's a pretty weird one, isn't it?
It's a struggle for you to get in the bath, isn't it? Albertini lining up the free kick. The whole posse of Milan players waiting at the far post. Down for Desai. He's given it straight to Pellegrini. They claim handball. Referee says play on. Borgonovo. Desideri, the former Inter player. Didn't have a very successful time there, though. Kosminski, now Statuto, and there's no flag for offside. Statuto, and it's stabbed just wide. Oh, what a chance then for Borgonovo.
It really was a great chance, and Borgonovo actually took it. I thought he should have taken it with his left foot. He seems to come across his left foot and stab it with the outside. Lovely little passing from Statuto, and there you see Borgonovo, instead of swinging on his left foot, he elects to go with his right foot. He could have made a little mistake there, but that was excellent football. It was a fabulous little pass inside of Tassotti by Kosminski, which set the whole move up.
Well, that was very promising then for Udinese.
It just goes to show, doesn't it? You know, they haven't really been in the game at all, only from a defensive point of view. And there they go, they break away, and they've got an opportunity to score. We desperately need a goal, don't we, to liven the whole affair up. Whether it be Udinese to score it or Milan.
Well, Borgonovo will be very disappointed that he didn't tuck that one away. He's got 2 in his last 3 starts, Borgonovo. And he can be a very sharp finisher. But not this time. Milan survive, and it stays at 0-0. Statuto, the man who set up that chance. Rossito, back to Statuto again. Helvig's pass. Anticipation, though, as ever by Baresi. Tassotti now. Here's Lentini. Simone's attempted run didn't come to anything, after he collided then with Pellegrini. Milan, from their 15 home games, have won 11, drawn 4, lost none, of course. Here's Simone. But they did so nearly get caught on the break a few minutes ago. If you're just joining us, the pattern so far, mainly Milan attacking, but not too much penetration. And Udinese relying on the counter-attack, which very nearly produced a goal. Costa covering, and Rossi has something to do at last. Tassotti to Desai.
Even he can pass it. Rossi, what a pass with his left foot there out to Tassotti.
I think he was showing off Papan, who's come deep to fetch it. Misses out Desai and finds Tassotti instead. Lentini was trying to make the run for him, but they've closed Tassotti down now. Desai. Aldini now. The crowd ready to celebrate, but not too much to cheer so far. There are, I gather, around 1,000 supporters from Udinese among the 80-odd thousand. And they almost had something to cheer with the chance for Borgonovo. Liam Brady, what have you made of it since we last spoke to you?
Well, much the same as yourselves, Peter. Milan doing all the attacking, but they don't look as if they're going to be able to penetrate the Udinese defence. And as you say, Udinese have set themselves out to hit Milan on the break, and they very nearly did there. I agree with Ray. I think Borgonovo was wrong to try and flick that with the outside of his right foot. He should have hit it with his left foot, and he had an open goal. Very disappointed in Lentini. I know you mentioned at the start of the game about him playing on the right, but he looks a player lost to me. He used to go past people for fun when he was playing for Torino, but really struggling before his accident, and he hasn't done much to impress me since then either.
Okay, then, well, we'll hope for a goal. See what Milan can do here. Maldini now. It's Boban. Lentini had wandered across, but he certainly hasn't been effective at all so far. Boban, who has been. It's not a bad cross in either. Dealt with by Pellegrini. It wasn't the best of headers out, though. And that could have created danger. Tassotti. Simone nicking it past Pellegrini. And the cross, well claimed by Battistini.
It was very well claimed by Battistini, but there we see the one person who prepared to go wide and attempt to get across in Simone. It wasn't the worst ball in the world. I think it was Boban we saw trying to get across the near post. Had he got there just a fraction quicker, I think we could have seen the opening goal of the match. But they are definitely the areas in which you can score goals across that near post. So Simone, he's actually reached the byline and attempting to flick the ball back. He's not going to get too much power on it, therefore he's got more chance of going to the near post than the far post. And if you've got a person that's prepared to get across there, you've got every opportunity of scoring.
An injury here to Borgonovo, who, along with Marco Simone of Milan, was regarded as one of the golden boys of Italian football back in the 1980s. They both started at Como, and Simone indeed replaced Borgonovo in his first season there when he left for Fiorentina. Here's Pizzi. On by Desideré. And we've got the short straw again. This is the only goalless game so far in Italy this afternoon, because we're showing another goal that's been scored by Foggia at home to Genoa. So they lead by a goal to nil. Goal from Kolivanov. Foggia 1, Genoa 0. Chelsea, who scored his first goal for Udinese last week. And in their triumph over Foggia. Pizzi with the pass. And you have to say, Ray, very disappointing so far.
Extremely disappointing, Peter. Yeah, it's not a very entertaining game at all. Udinese just sitting back and attempt to hit Milan on the break, but Milan not really showing the sort of invention that we associate with Milan. I think, in fairness, I don't think we can criticise them the way they've won the championship, because to win any championships are very, very difficult task. But when the three Dutchmen were playing, you saw a different brand of football. You saw an exciting brand of football. And I don't think, without being disrespectful to the other foreign players that they've brought in, we haven't really seen the same class of play.
The endeavours of Lentini have won the corner, I think. Capello looked pretty frustrated down on the bench, didn't he?
Extremely, and I think he's got Mr. Berlusconi down there with him as well. I thought I saw.
Perhaps he'll send him on then.
He might do a better job actually at the moment.
Boban with the corner. Desperately need a goal, Milan. And that might encourage Udinese to be a little more adventurous too.
or even the other way round. I'm sure if Borgonovo would have scored, we would have seen Udinese obviously defend very tightly, but we would have seen perhaps Milan use a little bit more flair to unlock them.
I can't believe they'll just settle for a draw today, Milan, surely.
I think they're going for it, well, I think they're going for it, but they're just not showing enough imagination. Simone's the only sort of guy. Simone, Boban, I thought, started very brightly, but Simone looks to be the sort of guy that, if anybody's going to unlock them, it's going to be Simone.
Well, it could be a test here then for Battistini. Simone and Boban organising the free kick. Maybe a shot on for Simone. That's Maldini, who's placed himself just in front of the wall. Laid off to Simone. Good save by Battistini. In goes Desai, and he clattered his opponent then. Well, then claiming he was injured himself. I think it was Pellegrini that he collided with.
It was a very, very brave header from Pellegrini. He sees Desai coming in all the way, and he really does make it his ball. It's a very, very good defensive header. I think there were a clash of heads, but I can't see where Desai would be as damaged, because he was the man that really knew what was going on.
Well, there's a shot from Simone, beaten away by Battistini, and it's Desai who goes in very strongly then. There's a clash of heads.
A nasty clash of heads as well, and Pellegrini does exceptionally well to get that ball away for Udinese. It's a good save actually from Battistini. It's going through a crowd of players, and he actually gets down and gets a good couple of hands to it. And there we see the header. My word, that is quite a nasty knock, isn't it?
If you had to choose someone to headbutt you, I don't think it would be Desai.
It wouldn't be that chap, no. He really does look a tough fella.
Well, he's made a very prompt recovery. Not so Stefano Pellegrini. It's a very nasty collision.
I think we see one of the physiotherapists there nodding his head, saying he doesn't think he'll be able to carry on. So that would be a big loss actually, because he's doing his utmost in actual fact to keep Marco Simone quiet.
Former Sampdoria and Roma player Pellegrini, just a one season in Genoa before being transferred to Roma. 3 terms there, then on to Udinese, and he's in his second season with the club. And I wouldn't think he's going to take much more part in this game. No, they're bringing on a substitute, or certainly preparing him anyway. Appreciative applause from the Milan supporters, as well as those of Udinese. It was a very courageous header, but he has paid the price for it.
Oh, he certainly has, Peter. We see it again there, and blimey, he did take a bash on the head as well, and he'll take no part in the game.
Valerio Batotto will come on. Has been a regular in the side, but left out on this occasion, but now getting his chance. Not the way he would have wanted it, though, I'm sure, with the injury to Stefano Pellegrini. Well, it's a sad sight, and certainly a setback for Udinese, who have been restricting Milan. Really only a couple of chances. Now they've got to do a bit of reorganising. There's Papin's cross.
A good cross as well, that's what it's all about. He got there and he hit it in early. And the earlier the cross, the better. It gets in behind players, and that was a good cross from Papin. A good run out wide and a nice early delivery. When you're getting good crosses coming in like that, it just you can see the panic with defenders. They've just got to get it away anywhere. And you never know. There's been a couple of bad defensive headers from Udinese, and they could end up heading it into their own net.
Much sympathy for Pellegrini. Desideri, Costa Curta with the first and second headers, then he was battered to the ground. Almost at the end of the first half then, as we're moving into injury time. There will be a little bit to add on. Just the one real scare for Milan when Borgonovo stabbed that chance wide. Costa Curta now. Lentini. Here's Desai, who doesn't seem to have suffered any ill effects from his clash with Pellegrini. Albertini, Maldini, now Desai. Here's Tassotti. Some space has opened up for him too. Trying to tease out the keeper. But a comfortable catch for him in the end. From, I think, Lentini's header.
Yes, Lentini coming in on the back post, but I think Boban was slightly better positioned on the back post to get the ball back into the penalty area. But that's slightly better. Milan used the ball and they moved it very, very quickly around the field. And consequently, they got Tassotti in on his own on the right-hand side.
Albertini. Desai, I noticed, was just rubbing his head a moment or so ago, so maybe he's not made a full recovery yet. Well, that was a confident strike. Straight into the arms by Simone of Battistini.
It's excellent football, Peter. It's one of those little runs that we talk about all the time. He just ran off the shoulder of the defender and found himself in a couple of yard space, but unfortunately for him, just mishit the volley.
But he certainly has looked their most dangerous player, Marco Simone, up front for Milan.
There it is, a lovely ball from Albertini as he drifts off the defender's shoulder. He just can't get his foot round it and bash it in the back of the net.
Well, if that one had gone in, it might have been a similar sort of goal to the one that Sosa got earlier in the season for Inter. Do you remember that one?
Oh, that was a wonderful goal, wasn't it? That's one of the best goals we've seen all season, isn't it? That was a superb strike.
Free kick to Udinese. Botto, the substitute there. Seems to have taken on the role of marking Simone, vacated by Pellegrini's absence now. Helving. To end the first half, and to be frank, it wasn't a very entertaining one. No goals, a lot of whistles around the stadium from the Milan fans who've come here hoping to see a feast of football. It certainly hasn't been that way so far. The best chance really of the half has fallen to Udinese indeed. Borgonovo, very little created by Milan despite their possession, 66%. They haven't turned that possession into genuine opportunities. Half-time in the San Siro, Milan 0, Udinese 0. We'll be back after the break.
Welcome back to the San Siro. By my side, a bit of a surprise guest today, Brian Adams. Certainly didn't expect to see you here today, Brian.
Didn't expect to see you here either.
What? Well, indeed not. Obviously not a regular viewer of the show then, but what are you doing here at the moment?
Well, I'm on tour in Italy, and we have a day off today, so thought we'd come and see the game.
Yeah. What do you reckon?
I reckon it's been pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know, Papan's been doing a good job.
You used to play as a kid football, didn't you?
Yeah.
Been to see a lot of Italian games?
This is, I think, my third game in Italy. We're not in Italy very often, so whenever I come here and there's a game and a day off, I'm there.
Yeah?
Sure.
Who's your favourite team here?
I don't really have a favourite team. I'm just here because I love the game.
Oh, okay, and you're touring in Italy right now, and...
Yeah, and then after that we're going to England. We're playing Wembley for a week, so looking forward to that.
Almost certainly sold out anyway. The teams are out on the pitch now, so I'm just going to get a quick comment from Liam Brady. Liam, first half, pretty much as you were saying at the start of the game, do you have any hopes for the second half?
Well, not really, James. I have to say it's been rather a tame contest, and I think if there's not a goal after about an hour, I think we'll just see a sparring contest, I'm afraid to say.
Okay, well, clear enough that from Liam Brady. Well, thanks to Brian for joining us here, and we'll be hearing more from Liam during the second half, but right now it's back to our commentators, Ray and Peter.
Thank you, James. And Milan about to start the second half. Ray Wilkins also very much a music fan. I asked him at half-time what he thought of Pavarotti. He said better than Tenerife, but not a patch on Benidorm.
Well, let's hope we see some football, Peter. That first half was pretty atrocious stuff, and it can only get better, as they say.
And that is a pop song.
Well, I believe so, yes. My daughter would tell me so anyway.
I think I've heard it at Loftus Road recently. Now then, Papan and Simone about to start the second half. Simone, who was certainly very effective up front for Milan, but unable to find a way past Udinese, who obviously will regard a point here as a precious one in their efforts to stay in the top flight in Italy. Remember, 1 point is all that Milan need, but we're hoping they're going to go for the 2. Here's Maldini. On by Boban. Easy though for Desideri. Desai seems to be okay after his collision with Pellegrini, which forced the Udinese defender to go off injured, but Desai has carried on, and hopefully none the worse for it. Here's Patonto, the man who came on for Pellegrini. He had a couple of saves to make in the first half. Well, not all that many. Desai. On from Tassotti to Lentini. Tassotti again. Chance to cross it in this time. But a very poor one.
Yes, that's shades of the first half, isn't it? Mauro Tassotti really just mishitting it, and it's gone the width of the field, which is a big old pitch in the San Siro as well, and straight out the other side. Not the best football we've ever seen.
Desai, away from Pizzi's tackle, at least he almost was. Acknowledged by Fausto Pizzi, a very experienced campaigner, and certainly left his leg trailing there.
Yeah, well, that's to the detriment of Milan. Desai had actually gone past him and going towards 2 less players, and now we see Udinese, they're enabling themselves to get everybody behind the ball and make it tough for them again. The referee should have allowed the game to flow.
Albertini on for Maldini. Now Simone just created that little bit of room for himself. He is so quick in the penalty box, Simone.
It was brilliant as well. It's a great run, and it's a lovely pass from Maldini, straight into his path. First time pass. He lets it run, a little shimmy, as if he was going to go inside. Lets it run, and it is his swinger, his left side. We see him blasting it into the staunching at the back of the goal.
Well, the Milan fans have come here hoping to celebrate another title triumph. I'm sure they're going to, whether it's today or in the remaining matches. But hopefully, Milan are going to do it in style. It hasn't been the case so far. Shades of last season, really. That very disappointing game against Brescia when they clinched it. Chelsea's pass failing to find its target. But Udinese have certainly given themselves a chance of staying up with their recent form. They haven't lost in 3. Although the win against Foggia last week was their first in 6. But it has given them an opportunity. Costa Curta invited to come forward. The off was from Papin. Now Simone's turn.
Yeah, it's very bright, Simone. I don't know whether Papin actually meant that. It was a bit flicky and it travelled a long way, but Simone was onto it like a flash, and here we see him hitting the ball on the half turn. Unfortunately,
sorry.
No, by all means, but it went straight at Battistini.
Just saying, he's been the one really bright light for Milan this afternoon, Simone.
He really has. Like, defensively, they've had nothing to do except for that little incident with Borgonovo. But apart from that, Simone has been the man that you could see that could unlock this very tight Udinese defence.
Tassotti.
So far, boring as it may sound, Udinese are doing a first-rate job. They're limiting Milan to some very rash crossing, and they're coming to get a point, and that's what they're really after.
Well, it was a goalless draw when they met earlier in the season, and Udinese certainly gave Milan problems that afternoon. Likewise today. On by Baresi to Maldini, who at 25 is heading for his 4th Italian championship. Same tally as his father, Cesare Maldini.
That's a very pleasant situation, isn't it, man? His father as well, he's a very, very pleasant man. having won 4 championships and a very successful Italian international as well.
Tassotti. Oh, Papan launched himself through the air, didn't make contact either with the ball or the player.
He did ever so well to pull out, Peter. I thought he was going to kick the defender's head off, but he just pulled out at the last second.
Maldini, it spins off a defender. I thought it did. Indeed, it is a corner to Milan. Papan in there hoping. Oh, again, the goalkeeper resorting to just fisting it away from Simone's shot. Doesn't handle it too cleanly, does he?
It's a greasy ball, it's a greasy old surface, and Simone really is he's cracking the ball at the moment. That was a first-class effort from him as well, hitting it on the bend and nearly catching Battistini out. But it's a greasy ball. I think a lot of goalkeepers would their preference would be to punch it away.
Costa Curta, wide to Tassotti. Now Lentini. Hasn't really sparkled so far. And it's a goal kick. What was it?
No, I think he's given a free kick, actually.
Free kick, yeah.
Lentini was very fortunate to get that in actual fact. He's actually booted the ball off the pitch with his second touch. And he's gone over the top of the defender's legs and rather feigned a free kick. And he's actually got it.
Boban will take it. They have the height of Desai and Maldini in there. I think we'll have to take it again. Really does need a goal, this one, to spark it into life. Now the shot from Simone. Again, fails to beat Battistini.
That was good technique. He's put it into the floor. It's a nice volley. Ball to the far post, and he's volleyed it into the ground, but Battistini did very well to gather it. He's the only chap that's having the shot, Peter, isn't he, Simone? He's the only fella that you can really see that he's going to brighten up this afternoon as the ball comes in there from Boban. Gets himself up nice and early, a la Sosa, and but straight into the hands of Battistini. Unfortunately for us all.
Helping with the throw then for Udinese. Albertini, it was out of play though, I think. Izzi. Rosito. Placed though by Desai. Not too many players get the better of him. Now Helberg, who came from Odense, the Danish club, back in November, and has featured in just about every game since. Tassotti. Now Maldini. Picon in search of Papan was from Boban. Here's Costa Curta. Again, Udinese have just posted one player upfield, Borgonovo. Everybody else is back defending. And they've done it successfully again, until it's given away by Desideri. Lentini. Another one for Borgonovo to chase. Outwitted though by Costa Curta.
Yeah, we saw just before that poor old Lentini is not having the happiest of afternoons, is he? That was an attempt at a 1-2, but he's actually missed his target by a good couple of yards.
Maldini. Here's Baresi. Simone. Linking with Baresi again. Now Maldini. 10 minutes into the second half. It's Simone. Milan still pressing for this breakthrough goal. Positive run by Simone. And it's fallen now for Lentini. Desai. On for Albertini. The two who patrol the central area for Milan. Maldini now. Movement ahead of him from Boban. Good work by the Croatian, but the cross not good enough. And away come Udinese. Not too far though.
It's exactly the same pattern, Peter, isn't it? Udinese sitting back and Milan just pummeling or attempting to pummel their goal, and we're not really getting a lot of joy out of it.
Maldini. Albertini. Lentini looked very sluggish then. Kosminski was much more determined, but now he's lost out to Sotti. Away goes Lentini. Just doesn't seem to have that zip of old, though. Statuto.
He certainly doesn't. We often spoke last season about you know, why they didn't keep hold of Fuseur, who was with Lazio. Because Fuseur really is a super player, and he was with Milan, and to pay the sort of money they did for Lentini, and he really hasn't produced a good since he's been at the club.
You have to pinch yourself, you remind yourself he's the most expensive player in the world.
Well, that's right. He really hasn't. I don't think we've seen him perform on 2 occasions.
Baresi. Simone, who has looked very dangerous. Seems to have a real appetite for the game today, Simone.
He's a joy to watch, Peter, isn't he, this chap? His movement along the front line is quite superb, and he's always making himself available for people. A lovely first touch, and he's always prepared to have a crack at goal.
Desai, powerful header. Maldini. Rosito. Albertini. Trying to escape the tackles, but it's Pizzi who's got it back again then for Udinese. Pizzi with 6 goals this season since his move back in November to Udinese, although 3 of those have been from the penalty spot in recent games. Kosminski trying to combine with Statuto. But here's Costacurta for Milan. Boban. Carefully on, studiously on by Lentini. Papat now riding the tackles well. Boban just took it too far, and then it squirms away from him. And away for the goal kick to Udinese.
That's the brightest bit we've seen from Papin for a long while. A nippy little dribble along the right-hand side, and a nice ball into Boban, who just unfortunately miscontrolled it. But that's been the story of our afternoon, unfortunately, the miscontrolled and the misplaced pass.
Well, let's get a view of the second half exchanges from Liam Brady. No real change to the pattern, Liam.
No, that's right, Peter, but I still think it's a very real match. Milan are still trying very hard to win it. Unlike the game we saw last season, when I thought both teams settled very early on for a draw, I think Milan are trying their best to win it. And Udinese, as Ray said, are defending quite well. Simone looks the man, as Ray has said as well, to unlock the defence. Disappointing Boban, disappointing Lentini. They've only scored 34 goals this season, and it's amazing that they're in the position they're in with that few goals. I think it's a real problem for them. They can't wait for Van Basten to come back.
Right. Pizzi. Well, it won't be for a while, but hopefully Van Basten will be back by the end of the year. Might be wishing they had Signori in their side from Lazio. He scored now in the game away to Juventus, so it's 3-1. Lazio still in trouble. Signori, the top scorer in Serie A this season. That's his 21st of the campaign. Top scorer also, of course, in the last one.
And considering the games that he's missed as well, Peter, he's had a remarkable time, Signori. He really is a first-class striker.
Costacurta with the pass. Very rarely gives it away, Costacurta. It's a great turn by Simone, and it was just in play, too. Simone's cross, and the shot from Boban.
Well, there's the man we spoke about, number 11 there. He deserves all the plaudits. That was absolutely fantastic. It was a good ball into him from Paolo Maldini, and it was an excellent turn from Simone. Got onto the edge of the 18-yard box, tried to hit the early crossing with the outside of his right foot for Papin. As the ball cannons off the defender's head, I think it was Calori that got it away. There was Boban coming in on the volley to brighten up the afternoon for the supporters and us also. It's not been the best afternoon, but that really was some super football from Simone. It really has looked a class above the rest.
The championship looks a formality now. Boban's goal has given Milan the lead just under the hour played. Only his 4th in Serie A, but a critical one, certainly from Udinese's point of view. They are now in serious trouble if they lose this game today. It's great work here by Simone.
Yes,
now, was it over the line,
I didn't think it was, Peter. They reckon the whole ball's got to be over the line, and it's a good little ball in. It's a lovely little ball. Calori gets up very well indeed, but there's a smashing volley. That's great technique from Boban.
Battistini has started to go for the cross, and he just about got back in time, but not in time to save the shot from Boban, which simply flew past him. And the Croatian has steered Milan ahead. Pizzi. Now Helveg. No, flags up, offside.
Yes, he was offside. That well-oiled machine there, the mean machine at the back, catches him offside. I think we'll see here that the whole ball doesn't go over the line.
I don't know.
It's touch and go. They're playing at home. I'm biased anyway, Peter.
Yeah.
I'm just pleased to see a goal.
For anyone.
For anybody, quite right. No, well in play. With my bias hat on.
Right. Well, that's the important thing. We've got a goal. And this will bring Udinese out now. Let's see what damage they can create, if any. Rossito. And that glorious chance in the first half. Udinese when Borgonovo shot wide. Well, they're playing with a bit more purpose now, anyway.
Yes, quite right. Pizzi's moved slightly further forward. He's got a lovely left foot, this chap. As he moves into the box, I think it's Costa Curta that gets the final toe in. Now, is that a back pass? There have been a lot of free kicks given for a lot less.
Looking at that again, it certainly appeared to be a back pass. I thought originally it just had come off him, but that seemed a deliberate pass back from Costa Curta.
Definitely so.
But now there's a foul on Lentini, so some more defending for Udinese to do. Albertini sort of chipped through. Pizzi down for Kosbitski. Now Borgonovo. Certainly hasn't been an easy match for Borgonovo, allowing a lone furrow up front. Might get a bit more support now, though.
I think he'll get a lot more support now, Peter, yeah. That's the way it's got to be. They've got to get back into the game. They need a point desperately.
Angelo Carbone among the substitutes for Milan today. We got a glimpse of just now. He was sent off in the European tie in the week. Kosbetski. Easily cut out, though, by Tassotti. Now, Papin has pulled wide. Lentini streaking down the middle. Papin. Well, was that a shot at goal?
I think that was a shot at goal, yeah.
Well, there's plenty of confidence being shown by Papin. Rather over-optimistic, I would have thought.
Yes, one would have thought so. He's trying to end his Milan career on a very happy note.
Baresi covering the run of Pizzi. Well, there's a lot more volume around the ground now from the home fans. Liam Brady, it certainly raised the atmosphere now, the goal.
Yes, I think they're really going to have a party now. We said it might be Simone to open up the Udinese defence, and it was him. And I'm sitting right above where he actually turned the defender, and I don't think the ball went over the line. So it was a good goal for me.
It's Boban now attacking again for Milan. Sloppy pass. Helveg for Udinese.
That was a sloppy pass, wasn't it, Peter? Boban there to Desai. He wouldn't have called out on a 750 Honda, that one. That was a dreadful pass.
Things you say. Desai with the block.
No nonsense player, isn't he, Desai? But here's the man again. Found himself wide on the left-hand side.
Marco Simone. And he was going for glory then. He deserves a goal, though.
If anybody, I was just about to say, but he deserves a bit of glory at Simone. He really has worked his socks off. Finds space for him, lovely. Finds space for himself very well again on the left-hand side. And cutting inside, he didn't really have the right technique to score.
Well, they've got to show some urgency now, have Udinese. Carbone about to come on, it would seem, as Baresi with the clearance.
He's not a happy man, Baresi. I think when Pizzi fell on him, we could see a bit of a flare-up of the injury he was supposed to have got in Porto in the week.
It was a foot injury. It was very swollen earlier in the week, but the swelling had gone down to enable him to play. Udinese have got to go for it now. Being in such perilous trouble down near the bottom of the table. Piacenza, one of their great rivals down there, they're losing. They need something out of this one, Udinese. Hard to see, though, where a goal would come from. Unless they can transform the game. Desai, actually, is the player going off, with Carbone coming on. Rosito. Desai, of course, who was injured in the first half after his clash of heads with Pellegrini.
Had a very steady game, though, Peter Desai. Always sits in front of the back four, makes it very difficult for sides to come through the centre of the pitch at them. Tough old character.
Carbone, who normally operates down the flank. Great reception Desai got then. And he has become a popular figure since his move from Marseille. An inspired signing by Fabio Capello. Albertini. There's Boban, the goal scorer. Not a careless pass by him, though. It's 2 now in the past few minutes. As the goal has gone to his head. Baresi. Lentini operating down the left side here now. Carbone will slot in down the right. Boban, wide to Tassotti. Carbone ahead of him. He's chosen instead the route to Boban. Now Lentini. Taking on Helveg. Never really looked like outsmarting him, though.
No, it's on that left side of his. He has to slow down, Peter. He actually made a yard of space for himself to whip the ball in. But having a bit of a swinger there with his left foot, he has to slow down and make sure he makes good contact. And that gave Helveg the chance to get back at him.
That ball there, I think, against Borgonovo. Lentini. Now Baresi. Who will win a record 5th championship for Milan if and when they do settle it. And surely they're going to today now, and it's Udinese can change things around. Kozminski. Josi rather, and he's fitted it on well too. Now a chance, and it's an own goal off Costa Curta. Well, they were sloppy at the back then, Milan. Borgonovo, maybe he'll claim it. For me, it went in off Costa Curta.
Yes, I think it was an own goal, Peter, but it was an absolutely atrocious pass from Lentini there that actually gave them the chance to break on Milan. They broke exceptionally well as well, Udinese. It's a lovely little ball across the face of the goal. And there was Borgonovo challenging the Costa Curta to put the ball in the net. But Lentini was the culprit. He gave the ball away very, very sloppily. This is a lovely little pass, a little cut back across the face of the goal. I don't know, Peter. Looks like Borgonovo, might have pushed it in at the far post. That was a lovely little pass. cut across the face of the goal. And Rossi with no chance.
Well, I'm sure Borgonovo will claim it. The Italian television director has given it to Borgonovo, the former Milan player. A vital strike by him. It's 1-1.
I know he took Desai off Fabio Capello, but Lentini really hasn't done a thing. You know, I didn't really see why he kept him on the playing surface when Carboni would have been a natural switch for him. That pass he played was pretty atrocious stuff.
Simone! Oh, fantastic goal. Right out of nothing. Well, we were saying he deserved a goal. And that was a classic strike by Marco Simone. Battistini left absolutely, well, distraught.
One of the goals of the season, Peter, that one. It's his first touch that creates it. The ball's played into him on his right-hand side, slightly away from him. And as he tucks it round himself, he's only got one thing on his mind, and that's to blast it. And that really, we've seen him do it 2 or 3 times in actual fact in the game. As it comes, there's that first touch. It's a great first touch. It's a tremendous shot right in the old postage stamp there. That's a great goal. Yeah, we see it from Battistini's position. Oh my word. You know, as soon as he hit it, it was in the back of the net. First-class goal from a first-class player.
Well, that's a memorable goal from Marco Simone to restore Milan's lead. 2 goals in 2 minutes. And suddenly brought this game to life. Back come Udinese again. And a goal! It's 2-2. Rossito.
Oh, when you think what a dreadful game we've seen, all of a sudden we've had 4 goals in 5 minutes. It's extraordinary stuff. Very sloppy defending again from Milan. 4 players on the back post could have put that in. And Rossito's just stuck out a boot, and it's in the back of the net, 2 apiece.
His first goal of the season. And Udinese, for the 2nd time, have pulled it back. Well, there was a whole cluster of Milan players there, but nobody had picked up 2 players in the 6-yard box. 3, really.
Yeah, it's atrocious. Good work from Kosminski. Dummying himself into the box there, and there's a very happy young man on the back post.
Rossito, the Italian under-21 international, to make it 2-2. And suddenly Udinese's survival hopes are alive again. No time to savour the brilliant goal by Simone. Udinese back on level terms almost straight away.
It really was a first-class goal from Simone, and one to win any sort of match. But they've come back, Udinese, full credit to them. They've come back into the game and done very well. And Simone's been taken off. I think
Simone's Orlando.
Sorry, Phil, I think Simone's been the best player on the field by a mile.
Alessandro Orlando then, replacing Simone.
I don't think Fabio wants to lose, Fabio Capello. He's brought... sorry, I've just lost him. Orlando for a minute. Yeah, he's brought Orlando on, who plays on the left-hand side and pretty defensively as well in front of Maldini. He's brought him on the field, I think, to button up everything.
Actually been out for some 14 games through injury now, Orlando. And he's only started a handful of matches. But on now for Simone. Liam Braley, it's all happening now in the 2nd half.
It certainly is, Peter. It's a great bonus as well. I think Udinese could in fact win this match if they were to push it. The Milan defence has been very, very slack on the 2 occasions that they've scored. Ray was right. Dreadful pass from Lentini in the middle of the park for the first goal, and the second goal they were asleep for a quick free kick that Kosminski did very well. In between that, we saw an absolutely brilliant goal by Simone. Ray was a bit surprised he was taken off, but I think he strained his thigh muscle when he hit that ball, and he signalled very early on that he wanted to come off. So it's an injury for Simone.
Actually, Albertini's pass now to Sotti. Milan have so often been impregnable at the back this season, not so today. Orlando with the shot, easily gathered though by Battistini. Another goal for Vialli, I'm just being told now. 4-1, Juventus lead Lazio. Signori the lone goal for Lazio. Vialli with 2, an own goal by Bacci, and Jurgen Kohler on target for Juventus. And it's Sampdoria 2-1. And Ivani, the former Milan player, which is on loan for Milan, has got the 2nd goal for Sampdoria. This is Papan. spotlight today, Jean-Pierre Papin, thanks to that miraculous strike by Simone and the earlier goal from Boban. But all credit to Udinese for the way they've refused to concede defeat.
Who does that chap support?
Well, I was very tempted, but... Baresi. Now Maldini. Bettini with the attempted pass. Milan have conceded goals in just 10 of their 31 Serie A matches. Now 2 have gone in today. There's Orlando with a pretty tame strike. Or rather Carbone, I should say, with a rather feeble effort. A little bit of unrest in the crowd on what should be a day of celebration for Milan as they head towards their 4th championship in 7 years. Papin. Yossi. Now Baresi. Pace has died down for the moment. Milan anxious not to give another goal away. Orlando. This is Maldini. Albertini. Here's Boban. And did that take a nick on the way? It's a corner to Milan.
Yes, after our frantic 10 minutes there, Peter, we've Boban now is struggling. The game has really settled down again, and Milan putting a lot of passes together, just trying to get their game going again. Things we don't want to see. Yeah, that's right. Things we don't really want to see.
Orlando with a corner. No real pressure though on Battistini. Bertotto. Points certainly won't guarantee Udinese staying up. It will help them. But remember, they have Juventus away still to play. And also the home game with Cremonese.
But it's got to be a point that they would never have thought that they would have got, Peter, actually coming to champions-elect and scoring 2 goals at the San Siro is something that they probably wouldn't have thought they would have done. I certainly wouldn't have thought Milan would have lost 2 goals at the San Siro with one game, or with this game to play. But it has happened, and as Liam said, if they really were to push themselves, Milan have been a little bit slack at times. They could have actually gone on and won it.
Boban. Cassotti. Dangerous cross it towards Lentini. Now Boban. Oh, Papin with a chance. No, flags up. It would not have counted anyway. But they were just wavering a bit at the back then, Udinese.
Yes, they were. It was poor defensive play. It was a bad first touch that gave Boban the chance to actually get a nick on it. And as it bounced back in there, Papin, who hasn't had the best of afternoons, has actually blazed it wide in an offside position.
So an escape for Battistini and Udinese. Hanging on to this 2-2 scoreline. A score which didn't seem very likely at half-time. Papin protesting to the linesman. The offside decision has been given. More breathing space for Udinese. They've had a couple of seasons back in the top flight, having been promoted back in '92 under their present coach, Adriano Fedele. And he was reinstated earlier in this season after Boccini, the old Italian national coach, had been sacked.
Yes, they've got a lovely setup as well, Peter. It's a lovely stadium, Udine, and in Udine, where the ground is, obviously. When they had the likes of Carnivali and Zico and those sort of players, they were a very, very attractive outfit.
Maldini. It's now 5-1 to Juventus, and Vialli has scored a hat-trick.
Well, that's nice. That's nice that he should come back and do so, because he's one of my favourites, and I'm sure all the viewers like to see an informed Gianluca Vialli. Who knows what they might have achieved, Peter, had he been fit.
I was going to say, he's had such a wretched season because of injury. But he's come back with a vengeance today, and who knows, may still make it into their World Cup squad.
He had a good game last week, didn't he? He worked tirelessly, was taken off after about an hour, but he played very well.
Baresi. Wide to Sotti, almost leisurely pace now by Milan. The championship is almost theirs again. It's a fantastic record in recent seasons. Starting this match today with a 6-point lead at the top over Juventus. And it looks as if it's going to be enough if they can just finish with a draw today.
Yeah, he did rather clatter into young Risotto, sorry. Did Orlando. But it was a good challenge, but there you see the man again. Lentini's in an offside position. The game is actually in motion. He's just dawdling back, and he's in an offside position again.
Well, you have to say now it's a result that does suit both teams, although I'm sure Milan would have preferred to have won it with a flourish. 2-2 means they take the title. It gives Udinese fresh hope in their efforts to maintain their top-flight tenure. Orlando seems to be okay now. Wouldn't have thought we'll see too much action in the last few minutes, right?
No, I think both sides, it appears anyway, have settled for this sort of result, Peter, and I'm afraid it may well just fizzle out into the 2-2 draw. But we got a good 10 minutes anyway, didn't we? We saw a couple of goals, and we saw a magnificent goal from Simone.
Borgonovo chasing here with Maldini. Baresi coolly back into Maldini's path.
Isn't that wonderful defending? Borgonovo has worked tirelessly for Udinese. Did ever so well there. Chased Maldini in the corner, but he really does have the technique of a forward player, Maldini. Not only is he great defensively, but on the ball and in possession, a really first-class player.
Boban. Spread out wide to Sotti. Linking with Carbone. Here's Papan now. A £2 million fee for Papan when he moves to Bayern Munich. Well, that's Kosminski pulling up there in very unfortunate fashion.
Yeah, he did well to read the pass, actually. He ducks inside of Jean-Pierre Papin, takes the ball away, does Kosminski, and he seemed to pull up very, very sharp. Let's hope it's nothing too soon. He's holding his Achilles tendon area, which is not the most pleasant place to be injured. Here we see him, he just pulls up rather sharply, which is a sad sight.
Well, he showed such awareness then to deprive Papin of an opening. Kosminski, who played against England in the World Cup qualifiers. He wasn't a regular in the Udinese side last season, but he's been a fixture this term. But that looks a rather nasty injury. I was just saying there about Papin, £2 million, so it's a loss for Milan. They paid a lot more than that for him, around $5 million, I think it was. What about his move to Germany?
Yes, I'm sure he'll be a better success in Germany. He really hasn't been able to perform in the Italian league, where the marking is so very, very tight. Let's hope he gets a little bit more space in the German Bundesliga and recaptures a sort of form that we know he can produce, because he obviously is an excellent footballer.
Costacota to Baresi. Six minutes left. Milan 2, Udinese 2. Lentini. Milan just a few minutes away then from yet another Scudetto, their third in a row. This is Maldini with Orlando. Only 2 defeats so far this season. Beaten by Sampdoria, of course, earlier on in the campaign, and then by Napoli, that shock defeat a few weeks ago.
It's strange, but when you see both teams that they just don't have the desire to go out and win a game, the minutes seem like hours, and this last 6 minutes is going to be pretty painful if the two sides approach the game in the manner which they're doing at the moment.
Well, certainly both teams very anxious not to make a vital error that could cost them the game, with the stakes so high. Orlando. There's the run by Papan. Checked though by Calori. And it's a free kick to Udinese. Calori was caught then by Papan.
Yeah, that's a painful one, Peter. Just as you're about to kick it and you kick the underside of someone's boot, that's very painful. Here we see it now, the ball bouncing up very, very high, and Papan catches him right on the top of the boot there, and that would be a very, very painful foot rehab in the morning.
Calori, who had a lot of problems himself in terms of discipline earlier in the season. He was sent off 3 times in the first 4 months, but he's quietened down a lot since then. Has been very steady at the back for Udinese. But now it's the Milan flags that are waving as they prepare to celebrate the championship. Free kick taken by Desideri for Udinese. Well, an astonishing match in Turin. It's now 6-1 Juventus against Lazio, and it's Roberto Baggio with goal number 6, his 17th of the season. And who would have thought that scoreline would have been on the cards today? Two teams challenging for second place behind Milan in Serie A. Orlando, who's come on just to keep things tight really for Milan. Baresi now for Costa Curta. Here's Boban. Three minutes left. Orlando policed by Helveg, the Dane. The majority of the possession has gone to Milan, but all square on the goals. Boban. Here's Tassotti. Now Costa Curta. It's like a practice match now.
Yes, it is. There's no intention of either side really to go and win the game, and Milan are just keeping possession of the ball. Udinese are delighted they're doing so and not attempting to penetrate. And they'll be, I would imagine, a lot happier with the result than the Milan players.
Caught side of the coach, Fedele, down there on the sidelines. He will look upon this as a very valuable point today if it stays this way, as the jubilant scenes are underway now in the stadium. From the Milan supporters, almost a full house this afternoon.
I don't think you can blame both sides in actual fact. You know, I'm complaining sitting here as a supporter and wanting to see a spectacle, but when you think the championship's at stake, Udinese do have the possibility with a point here that they can stay in Serie A, then it's possibly acceptable the way they're playing.
Tassotti. Milan just content to stroll around now, pass the ball among themselves, and Udinese not too worried about getting it back off them. Aldini's pass, seeking out Papan. Very colourful scenes now in the San Siro, where they have had so much to celebrate in recent times. And of course, still much to look forward to this season with the European Cup semi-final to come against Monaco. So much success continued for Milan under Fabio Capello. He heads for his 3rd title in a row. Not a bad record for 3 seasons in charge.
Absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
Carbone, no way through for him.
He's on a hide into nothing, though, Peter. You know, people will say he should win it with the sort of players that he has and the resources that he has at his fingertips. But you've got to get out there and do it. And everybody wants to beat you when you're the best. So it becomes a lot more difficult. And full credit to Fabio Capello.
Free kick to Udinese. Again, no one's in any particular hurry now. Pizzi. Kosminski, who seems to have recovered from what we thought might have been an ankle problem. Hopefully he's okay. We're into injury time. And the party for Milan is about to begin. Or is it Helving? Quickly challenged by Baresi, but he's conceded the free kick. Can you read her lips there, Ray? What's she saying?
I can't actually, but I know it isn't Fabio Capello.
No. Well, Pizzi is there, and Daisy Derry. Laid back by Daisy Derry. What makes you think they've settled with a point? That's it. The final whistle to signal yet another Scudetto. Well, she has plenty to smile about, and so have Milan. 2-2, the final score. That's enough for Milan to claim the title yet again. And Udinese have a fighting chance now to stay in Serie A. Thanks to their powers of recovery, Borgonovo and Rossito with the goals. After Milan had twice gone ahead. Boban with the first, and then Simone with an absolute cracker to make it 2-1. And the celebrations are underway. Banners and flags waving all around the stadium. And whatever misgivings, Ray, we may have about Milan, you have to salute yet another triumph for them.
Yes, that's quite right, and I think overall they have deserved to win the championship once again, and very happy scenes there at the San Siro. Fabio Capello there giving an interview, would be absolutely delighted, and there you can see the guys. You know, they've worked hard all season for this, and they're in the semi-final of the European Cup, as you quite rightly said, Peter, and the season isn't over. They've got to go for it, and I'm sure they will. Mr. Berlusconi will want them to go for it because he's a winner, and you can see Boban there, he's absolutely delighted.
Milan's 14th title. And there the huge banner is out again. We saw this last season. Wild excitement now in the stadium. A match that never really got going till late on. And those 4 goals that brought it to life. And everyone now is prepared to show their excitement in whatever way comes to mind.
But they're great scenes, aren't they, the guys there? Look, you've even got Tissotti's at it now. He's even doing it, and very unlike him. He's a very placid sort of guy, and showing his delight, his obvious delight at winning yet another championship. And it really is a marvellous feat for Milan. You know, the public wouldn't really mind that they didn't really turn in the performance we had anticipated, so long as they win the Scudetto for them. And they put another one over on their great rivals Inter and Juventus. Pretty irate gentleman there, kicking Carboni off the flag. But it's been a good season for them.
And we'll pick up on those celebrations now with Liam Brady and James Richardson. James?
Well, what scenes here at the San Siro, 7 months on from the start of the season. All the doubts of the summer now forgotten as Milan lift their third and second Scudetto, the 14th of their history, which actually puts them ahead of their city rivals Inter. Liam Brady here with me. Liam, you won a Scudetto at Juventus. Seems like this?
Yeah. We won it in Turin one year, and we won it away from home the next year. But the San Siro is the right place to win it. You got 90,000 people in here. They're very, very happy. They're a marvellous team, Milan. Not as spectacular as they were 2 or 3 years ago. We've said that before. But what a defence. Great players. Baresi, Maldini. Fabulous team, and they thoroughly deserve it.
Some people have said that the fact that they have won, and won with such a margin over the rest of the league this season, is more because of the rest of the team's weakness than their strength. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think Juventus was unfortunate during the year to lose so many players at vital times. We thought maybe Sampdoria could sustain a challenge, but then they haven't had the squad that Milan have. It's all about a real squad, and they have 20-odd players that can come in at any time. It's a fantastic feat, really.
Milan seem to be, Juventus seem to be reinforcing the next year. Milan have their own plans, possibly Van Basten and Hullet back together. Do you see it going the same way next season?
Well, I wouldn't bet against it. You know, Berlusconi and Capello really formed something really strong here, and it's difficult to see who's going to knock them off their perch.
Well, as you can see, the celebrations continuing here in the San Siro. Been a lot of celebrating as well around the rest of Serie A with a fistful of goals. Let's hear about that now as we hand back to Peter Brackley.
Now, the scores just coming in indeed. As we'll carry on viewing the celebrations, Fabio Capello, a very, very happy man. Atalanta 1, Napoli 1. Orfeo for Atalanta and Busso for Napoli. Cremonese and Torino have drawn 1 apiece. An own goal from Fusi giving Cremonese the lead. And Torino's goal from Sordo. In fact, it was Torino who went ahead there, 9 minutes, and then the goal from Fusi on 16. Foggia have beaten Genoa by 3 goals to 0. 2 goals there for Brian Roy, the Dutch international. Kolivanov with the other one. 2 late goals indeed from Roy. Now Juventus 6, Lazio 1. What a scoreline there. Vialli with a hat-trick. 8 minutes, 74, and then again on 83. An own goal from Bacci, the Lazio defender. Jurgen Kohler got a goal, and Roberto Baggio just a couple of minutes from time. Signori with a lone reply. His 21st goal of the season. That on 57 minutes from Lazio. Lecce 2, Reggiana 4. Lecce already relegated, of course, the bottom side. Kero Mikola on 8 minutes. Russo with their second goal. An own goal by Esposito for Reggiana. Padovano and Lantignotti, the other scorers. 2-4, Lecce against Reggiana. Parma 3, Cagliari 1, Aspria, Zola and Cripper, the scorers for Parma. And Triniti right at the end for Cagliari. 3-1 in favour of Parma. Roma have beaten Piacenza, one of the other strugglers down near the foot of the table, by 3 goals to 1. Rizzatelli, an own goal by Cananenti and Carboni. The scorers for Roma, and Piacenza is from Jacobelli on the half-time whistle. And Sampdoria have beaten Inter by 3 goals to 1. They got a late one there, Sampdoria. Amoruso in injury time after goals from Viercovod and Ivani. And Inter's reply from Battistini. Sampdoria have beaten Inter by 3 goals to 1. So a check on the table. Milan, the champions, 5 points clear of Juventus. Juventus having closed the gap with that huge win over Lazio today. Sampdoria in 3rd place. And Lazio level on 40 points now with Parma. Torino a further 6 points adrift. Happy scenes in the San Siro, whatever age you may be. It's a day to remember. The bottom of the table, well, Udinese have given themselves hope there. A point behind Reggiana and Piacenza. Cagliari a further point on, and Genoa still in the relegation shake-up there with Cremonese and Inter right down there in 10th place with just 30 points. And remember, Atalanta and Lecce have both been relegated already. Top scorers in Serie A. Well, Signori is out on front there with 21. Zola of Parma on 18. Then comes Baggio with 17. Silenzi on 16. And then a trio with 15. Fonseca of Napoli. Sosa and Ruud Gullit of Sampdoria. Ruud Gullit, we understand, on his way back to Milan next season. So it could be in tandem again with Van Basten. Maybe Ray Wilkins will see a different start again from Milan.
Well, hopefully we'll see the start that we saw 2 or 3 years ago when Gullit was a game plan alongside Van Basten. Gullit's had a magnificent season for Sampdoria, and it wouldn't surprise me if they brought him back. The Milan public absolutely love Gullit, as does the public of Italy. He's a very amiable sort of chap, and he's done an exceptional job whilst he's been in Italy, whether it be with Milan or with Sampdoria. But they would be even more formidable, I feel, if Gullit was to come back. They do have this tremendous camaraderie amongst the players. As you can see, they're absolutely delighted, and they'll be aiming. And it's nice for me. I'm absolutely delighted for Franco Baresi to pick up his 5th, and it is a record. But unfortunately, I don't think it will last too long when you think you have the likes of Maldini, who's got 4, Costa Curta, who's already won 4 championships. It's going to be tough for him to hold on to that sort of record. But he's got it, and he thoroughly deserves it.
Well, we were analysing the vital matches towards the end of the season, and Milan came through all those, didn't they? They came through against the other leading sides. They won the big matches.
Well, I think that's the most important thing when you assess their matches against Juventus, Sampdoria, they've actually come out on top against them all, and that's vitally important when you're heading for championships. They really have shown their mettle. They really do look a class outfit. As Liam already said, defensively they're absolutely magnificent. Marshalled by Franco Baresi. Hopefully he can go on for a number of years to come, and we could see some more very entertaining stuff from what is really a superb Milan setup.
So there it is, another championship confirmed for the Maestros of Milan. And who knows, maybe still the European Cup to follow. That's the one they really want, of course. Having missed out last season when they lost in the final to Marseille. They're through to the semi-finals now. And, well, whatever happens, they're back in the Champions Cup, of course, next season, having topped the table yet again. Well, these scenes will go on long into the night, I'm sure. But in the meantime, it's going to be goodbye from us. Don't forget, on Saturday, Gazetta's program, Paul Gascoigne's program, Gazetta, 11 o'clock. And we're back with another live game on Sunday afternoon with a 3 o'clock kickoff. So from Ray Wilkins and myself, goodbye.